that just like you have visited the ports, KPT and Port Qasim, all Gwadar, I'm sure you must have visited all the coastal areas. Please also take time out to visit the Ministry of Maritime Affairs, because the ports are a subject of the ministry. It's not the other way around. These ports are a subject of the ministry, which is a subject of the government of Pakistan. So I, as a minister, report to the cabinet and the Prime Minister, and of course everybody else, the whole nation. As I said in a little clip that somehow went viral in England last week, in London, I am a federal minister of Pakistan. It is a country of 230 million people. And we are no small fish. Yes, we have not been able to utilize our potential for various reasons. Let's not go into that. But we will, and we are on our way to doing things that we should have done a long time back. So, first, now I've opened the file. Now I'm more dangerous. I want to acknowledge the various dignitaries from Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Egypt, Indonesia, Qatar, Sri Lanka, Saudi Arabia. I met His Excellency Engineer Saleh, your Minister of Transportation. I had the pleasure of meeting him in London last week at the IMO conference. Of course, Turkey, Nigeria, Palestine, and Iraq. So welcome to Pakistan. Let's start with one by one. Let's start with what was shown, just to give a little bit correction on some data. The deep sea fishing policy was notified a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago. It's on the MoMA website, moma.gov.pk. Policy was revised maybe in 2018, but there were no rules of the game. So we have identified the rules and procedures, and it's on the MoMA website. And today, it is in all the papers. And in fact, there is an advert in both English and Urdu newspapers inviting people to come and apply for a deep sea fishing license under the new rules. So it's already done. For the first time in this government, an IOTC workshop was held in Pakistan. IOTC is the Indian Ocean Tuna Commission. And for the first time, the chairmanship of IOTC was held by Pakistan. For the first time, we started evaluating our data, which was at 3 or 4%. I think now our data is at 70%. So, never happened before. And because of that, because of collecting the right data, we've been able to take the right decision, because decisions are always based on data. If your data is wrong, your decisions, you might not reach the conclusion where you want to conclude at, because your decision-making process is wrong. Because of that data, we've identified some, let's call them, I've just informed the Honorable Chief. We identified some areas where we were weak, and you said our fishing export is 450 million, 400 million. It was stagnant at this number for a few years, and I hope this speech is being recorded and going live. I almost guarantee you that only this year, or this fiscal year I should say, when June 30 ends, we'll be closer to $1 billion in export mark. And mark my words, we will reach that, because there were some weaknesses that were being hidden under the carpet, and we've identified them because we started collecting the data. Secondly, once again, I was lucky enough to have a very able, knowledgeable, passionate, always approachable, then and even now, then as Vice Admiral and now as the Chief of Naval Staff. When we were going through this MoMA changes exercise. And you, sir, were kind enough to help us and guide us and attend a few meetings. So it had to go through various ministries, you know, because there were some sort of segments with finance, some with Ministry of Defense Production, some with defense, some with Ministry of Food Security, and the various others, industries, whatnot. So after going through the rounds, and we had various meetings and workshops, and we invited all of them, and after doing a lot of work, we circulated that file, and you know, government works slightly differently, not here but everywhere else in the world. We were able to finally, after maybe 20 months of that file being circulated, get it to what is called the CCSIR, which is the Cabinet Committee of Institutional Reforms. It took maybe 2 meetings of the CCSIR, and they approved 98% of it. And just previous Tuesday, when we have our cabinet meetings, the cabinet approved all of those recommendations that you and I, sir, had sat down and done. So it's all done. So we have cabinet approval, inshallah. This weekend we'll have the minutes and I'll share them with you. So this is a big achievement that was done. The third thing is that for the first time, I think, because I couldn't find it on the records of the ministry, ship recycling and ship breaking was discussed. So for the first time, although it is not under the Ministry of Maritime Affairs, shipbuilding and recycling is under, because there is only one ship breaking yard in Gadani, it is under the Balochistan Environmental Agency. So, but we took the initiative, and about 2 years ago, before COVID I should say, we held a workshop of the Hong Kong Convention in Karachi, and we had invited experts, and we had invited everybody who was connected to this industry, from shipbreakers to people who are the brokers who buy ships, and so the whole value chain we had invited. And we held a 2-day workshop in Karachi, and we under the umbrella of the Hong Kong Convention, and we tried to educate people as to what they should do for us to become the #1 shipbreaking country once again as we were before. I am really, really happy to know that Beria Foundation is, and I found out about a month ago, because the gentleman reading Beria Foundation once again is a very dynamic ex-naval officer, that Beria Foundation is now going to be the first one with the green shipbreaking yard, environmental friendly. And I think if you take the lead, others will have to follow, because it'll go leaps and bounds ahead of the others. So that's a big step in the right direction. And whatever the ministry can do to help, it's always available. So these are the 3 things that I wanted to address first. Let's go to the other thing that was discussed here, the shipping policy. So once again, there was a committee formed by the cabinet specifically for this purpose, and there were 3-4 very senior ministers, and we came up with the shipping policy where I think Idris Saab, you had mentioned that we gave concessions till the year 2030 only because we want to invite, I mean, we can't become a flag of convenience state as yet, but we wanted to invite the private sector, both locally and internationally, to come and start this business in Pakistan, because it is a very capital intensive business. You don't buy a vessel for $50,000, it's a lot of money. So I went to the State Bank and I got, as you rightly said, the LTFF, the long-term finance facility, 3.5%, 4% you can get a loan.
वफाकी वज़ीर अली हैदर ज़ैदी इस कॉन्फ्रेंस से खिताब कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी के हवाले से बहुत से अहम इक़दाम किए हैं। रवां माली साल में माहीगीरी में बड़े पैमाने पर बरामदात हुई हैं।